Hey there guys, it's Tina and I'm back! And I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. I wanted to take a quick second just to tell you guys that I love you and I'm sending my positive vibes your way because there is a lot going on in the world right now and sometimes we just need a quick escape, and I'm imploring you guys to reach out to your loved ones, hug them if you can, and let them know that you really care about them. So in this video, I hope to be a minor distraction to everything that's going on and talk about something that we can all find some joy in, which is beauty and makeup. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's go ahead and jump into the video. So today's video is all about my most used makeup brushes. I have been asked to do this video for quite a while. A lot of you guys love my brush videos and my FUDE videos, and I figured this was a great way to showcase the brushes that I have been enjoying in my collection. I'm going to hold them out here, okay, because they are used, okay? I used all of them in this video today to showcase them for you guys, but we are going to go through my top 25 or so brushes, my most used brushes in my collection over the last year or so. Brushes that are new to me, some that I've had in my collection for years, but I wanted to show you guys the brushes that I definitely use the most in my collection. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and jump into a showcase of my top 25 most used brushes. Alright, so I figured the best way to showcase these brushes and to talk through them is to demonstrate them in motion against my skin, so you can see how they move against my skin and how I would typically use them in makeup application. I will also insert clips of me applying product so you can get an idea of how they blend and move product around on my skin, but for the actual talk through, I'm not going to be applying any product. I'm just going to show you how these brushes would move across my skin and also show you the different motions and techniques that I would use when incorporating these brushes in my makeup routine. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, and I will start out with my base brushes. So for foundation, you're probably well aware of this brush. This is my Anisa Beauty Pinnacle Foundation brush. It retails for $30 and it is a synthetic brush with a triangular shape to it and a flat top. It is a great brush for foundation. It moves product pretty easily across the skin. It's very soft to the touch and it blends quickly because of the size. It is pretty large. It is not oversized though. So if you have a smaller face, it will still work for you. And it just moves product quickly, and because of the angular shape to it, the triangular shape, you can get in certain nooks and crannies like around your nose, around your mouth, and around your brows. In case you apply like your eye makeup and do your brows before foundation like I do, it helps to guide the foundation right across your brows without disrupting any of your eye makeup. So I love this brush. I have multiples of it. So I absolutely love this brush and it's my go-to for liquid and cream foundation. Next up is another brush from Anisa Beauty. This is the Angled Concealer brush. It retails for $28 and is also made from synthetic bristles. And I like this brush for applying concealer under my eyes as well as all over my eyelids. I will also use it to apply eyeshadow bases and primers to my lids because it's such a great shape for fitting right into the eye socket, and it's a great size for applying product quickly. So I can get right into my eye socket area, blend product right over my eyelids, and I can also get right under my eyes along my lash line because it is so soft. It doesn't irritate my eyes at all. It's also great for applying nose contour because again, it has that really precise shape that you can get right along your nose bridge and get a precise line. And if you wanted really precise contour on your jawline, it's also great for that because of the size. And because it's synthetic, it works great with cream or liquid products. So I absolutely love this one as well, and I have multiples because again, I use it for multiple functions from eyeshadow bases to concealer. Next up is my powder brush of choice. This is from Smashbox. It's their Sculpting Kabuki brush and it retails for $42. I use this for my setting powder, whether it's pressed or loose powder. and I love the shape of this kabuki brush. Kabuki brushes typically are flat topped or they may be dome shaped. This particular kabuki brush has a unique shape to the bristles. It is a curved shape that goes from a short side to a longer side. It just fits perfectly with the shape and curvature of my cheek area or my jawline, and you will see that it almost fits flush with my skin because of the unique shape. I have loved this brush for years. It's so perfect for pressing powder into the skin. Again, it gets all around the curves of my face, and it is just the perfect size to get the job done quickly. It's made from soft synthetic bristles that are very comfortable against the skin, and they're very dense, so it allows you to press product into the skin but also move it around easily if you just want a light dusting as well. I love this brush. If you're able to get your hands on it, I think it's definitely a winner, and it's one that I've used for years at this point. Keeping with the face brushes, I have another one from Anissa Beauty. This is their multi powder brush, and it retails for $32 and is also made from synthetic bristles. This is one that I fell in love with over time. I don't use it for setting powder necessarily, which is its intended purpose. What I use it for is bronzer. Because it is an angled shape, so it has a curved angle to it. It is great for applying bronzer along the hairline, and you'll see that the bristles are a little bit longer and they have a lot of movement to them without being floppy. So it's not a floppy brush, it's not too loose, but it has a lot of give as well. So you can get a nice diffused look of bronzer along your hairline. It works perfectly for that. If you just wanted to apply like a quick dusting of bronzer, you can do it with this brush. It also works for powder, of course, but I prefer the Smashbox. But you can also use it for loose powder or pressed powder. Honestly, if you're gonna use it for setting powder, it probably works best with loose setting powder because it's not very dense. It won't pick up as much product, but with a loose powder, it will be great for diffusing powder all over your skin. And again, these bristles are very soft and comfortable, but I just love it for bronzer. It just diffuses, blends out product really easily, and I've never gone wrong with it. In fact, I went ahead and picked up a couple because I loved it so much. Speaking of bronzer, let's go right into the BK Beauty 101 Contoured Foundation Brush, which retails for $34 and is made of synthetic bristles. This is a similar shape to the Anissa Beauty brush, but it is smaller and a lot more dense. It also has shorter bristles, so there's not as much movement to the brush. So this is going to give you a lot more color payoff from your product. This I will use for cream bronzers. It's really great, again, for applying the product and blending it and blurring it into my hairline. It presses product really well into the skin and also blurs and blends it. And because of the shape, I can also use it for contouring because I can just apply the product right on the edge of the brush and then use it to contour the hollows of my cheeks. And again, it's perfect for bronzer because of the shape, and even better with cream because it's a little bit denser. It's a little bit better at blurring and buffing out cream product, and it's synthetic, so it works well for that. You can also use it for powder, but I prefer a looser bristle type when it comes to applying powder bronzer because I like a diffused look. I don't want something that's going to be too intense, so I stick to using this for cream product, and it just works really well. You can also use it for the intended purpose of foundation. I mean, it's soft on the skin, it moves product really well, it has a great shape to it, but I find myself gravitating to something with a flatter top for foundation and then reserving this for cream bronzer, or you can even use it for cream blush depending on the size of brush that you use for cream blush products. And I'll get into my blush brushes right now because this I strictly reserve for bronzer. So here you have the Smashbox Full Coverage Foundation Brush, another foundation brush that I do not use for foundation. And you will see, again, it has a similar shape to the BK Beauty 101 brush. They have that similar angled top, but the Smashbox one is much smaller, as you can see. And the Smashbox one is also a little bit denser, so there's not as much movement to the bristles. I like this one for cream blush. It's smaller again than the BK Beauty one, so I get a more concentrated application that I prefer for cream blushes because you want to have a precise application. You don't want your blush to go all over the place unless that's the look you're going for. But I prefer to concentrate my blush just on my cheeks, even though honestly, my blush tends to get away from me sometimes and it goes all over the place. But I do like this particular brush for applying cream blush and blending it out. It has the perfect shape. It's nice and dense, so it blends cream really well. It picks up the product easily, and I don't have to do much work to blend the product out. It blends it out for me. And again, it fits really nicely on my cheek area, so I can get a dot of product and then just blend and blur the edges. So it's an excellent brush for foundation, but I reserve it for cheek products and specifically cream cheek products. And the shape of it does allow for great application of foundation, but I just find that it takes a little bit longer because it's a smaller rounded shape. I will need to work a little bit longer and blend a little bit more to get seamless foundation application, but it's perfect for cream blush. Speaking of blushes, we have another Smashbox foundation brush. This is now their blurring foundation brush, and it retails for $32, also made from synthetic bristles, as with all the Smashbox and Anissa Beauty brushes. So this one is meant to give you a lighter and more sheer coverage versus their full coverage foundation. And they name their brushes based on the intended finish of the product. So this is a full coverage foundation brush. This is a blurring foundation brush. And it is very lightweight and airy. It has longer bristles, so they move a little bit more and you can get a more sheer application if you wanted to. So I love this again for cream cheek products. It just fits on my cheeks. It blends product out really well. You can also use it for cream bronzer, but I stick to cream cheek products. And because I've started using a lot more cream blushes and liquid blushes, this works out perfectly because it is synthetic. It's meant for use with liquid and cream products, and it works really well for blending and buffing. It's just been perfect for me. Again, I don't use it for foundation, the intended purpose, but you definitely can. Again, if you want a more sheer finish to your foundation, maybe you're wearing a skin tint, this is perfect for that. And it's a little bit larger and it moves a little bit more around your face. So if you wanted to use this for foundation, I definitely think it would be great. But I strictly reserve it for cream blush and I absolutely love it for that purpose. All right, let's go ahead and just wrap up with the other Smashbox brush. This is the cream cheek brush. It is meant for cream cheek products and it retails for $32, and it is a much smaller size than their foundation brush, as you can see. So if you have a smaller cheek area or you just really like precise application of your blush products, this might be the one for you. Really small, really precise. Again, it's the same softness and flexibility of the blurring foundation brush, but you're gonna get a more precise application because of the size and the shape. And it is great for applying cream cheek products. I can apply liquid or cream highlighter with it. And if you wanted to apply a precise contour, you can also use this brush for that application. And it also fits under the eyes for concealer. So if you wanted to use it for multiple purposes, again, it lends itself to that because of the size and the shape. So this one is a great one in your arsenal, and I have been loving it for precise blush application because, like I said, blush can get away from me and sometimes I need to just pull it back and concentrate it where I really want the color to be. So again, this is the Smashbox cream cheek brush. All right, so far every brush that we've covered has been synthetic hairs and I use them for cream and liquid products. But now we're gonna go into natural hair brushes. And this is my favorite brand of natural hair brushes. The brush brand in question is Sonia G, and this is their jumbo base brush, and it retails for, wait for it, $68. I know, it's very pricey, as with all the Sonia G brushes. Again, this is a handmade brush. It's made by artisans in Japan, and they're made from natural hair bristles, so they're going to be a higher price point. It's just the name of the game, and I will invest in these natural hair brushes because I love them so much, and the quality is definitely in the makeup of the brush. So again, jumbo base brush, it's meant for foundation. I don't use it for foundation. And because of the blend of bristles, this does work with cream and liquid products. Even though with natural hair bristles, you tend to want to stay away from cream and liquid, you can use this particular brush because it's designed to be used with that kind of formulation. So this, you can again use it for foundation. That is the intended purpose, but I like to use it for cream bronzer. You'll probably notice a theme to the brushes that I enjoy. They tend to have that little bit of an angled shape to them because they work perfectly for the hairline and for bronzer and for cheek products. They just work really well for all those purposes. Again, it works for foundation, but bronzer, hairline, it's a little bit more dense. It doesn't have a lot of give, and because it's a natural hair blend of bristles, it's very soft on the skin. And it just gives it's like an airbrush finish to your skin. There's something about a natural hair blend that is just going to be superior to a synthetic bristle blend. Now, synthetic bristles have come a long way and they can achieve a pretty effect on the skin now. And they get very close to what a natural bristle brush can do. But a natural hair brush is just gonna give you that little bit more of a really blended airbrush look. And this brush, if you want to splurge for a nice foundation brush that you can also use for cream bronzer and like cream cheek, this is a great one to pick up. I'm not saying get it, but I really have been enjoying this brush as well. Now, another Sonia G brush that's from the same collection as the Jumbo Base is the mini base brush, and this retails for $40. And again, it's a natural hair blend, and this is perfect for cream cheek products. Again, it has a similar size to the cream cheek brush from Smashbox. So if you wanted a synthetic version, go with the Smashbox one, obviously. But if you wanted that extra oomph and wanted to go natural, this would be my recommendation. It works the same way the Smashbox one does, but again, it's just gonna give you that added airbrush finish to your cheeks. It's just the perfect size for blush, and it works with cream and powder formulations. Not saying that the Smashbox one doesn't work with powder products, it's just better with cream and liquid because it's synthetic. For powder products, I do recommend natural hair bristles. They just work a little bit better to give you that seamless blend on the cheeks. So this one, highly recommend as well. It's not as pricey as the Jumbo Base, and it works great again for under eye concealer, which I've been using it a lot for. I like the large size, and it's soft, so it gets right up under my eyes. I can get around my nose area, but I can also use it for the cheeks, for highlight, for blush, and it's just such a versatile brush. I absolutely love it. This one is just going to be an honorable mention. I use it, but not as much as these other brushes. This is also from Sonia G, again, from the same base collection. This is the classic base brush. It retails for $55, and it's the in-between size between the Jumbo Base and then the mini base brush. So if you're looking for a brush that is a medium size, you would go with the classic base. And this is meant for foundation. I would never use this for foundation because it's just too small. It has a dome top, and I would just be blending foundation forever, and I don't have time for that, okay? But if you wanted a larger size to the mini base, you can see same shape, same dome top, circular. Again, you can use this for a blush, which is chiefly what I would use it for, which is why I'm like, it's not as versatile as the other ones. So I am just mentioning this one just because it's in the same family and it's an intermediate size. But for me, sometimes it's just too big for blush, even though I'll use it for cream or powder blushes, and it's a little bit dense, so it's gonna give me a lot of color payoff. So I will pull for it sometimes, but just not as much as the other brushes. Now, keeping with the cheek brushes, I have one from Refer. This is the number 5 cheek brush, and it is your quintessential classic blush brush shape and size. And I love it. It retails full price, okay, for $57. Whoo, I know that is pricey, but if you know anything about Refer, they have a concept store where you can get up to 50% off their retail price. So you can get this brush for $28.50, which is what I did. I purchased it during a sale, but sometimes these brushes just pop up in their concept store, and that's when you will get the discounted price. And all you have to do is leave a review, leave them some feedback when you try out the brush. So again, a great natural hair brush. This is made from goat hair. It is a really soft brush. It feels really great on the cheeks, and it is perfect for powder blushes. Now, this specific brush I wouldn't recommend for cream products. Stick to powder with this, but it is the perfect size for your cheeks. So you just sweep a little blush on, and go. And it blends powder out effortlessly. Again, it gives you that airbrush look to your cheeks because it's so soft, and natural hair bristles will give you that more diffused airbrush look when you apply powder products. So absolutely recommend this one. I will leave my affiliate link down below in case you're curious and you wanted to try it out, or any of the other refer brushes. That does give me a kickback though. It's a great way to show your support for the channel by shopping through my affiliate links. So I will leave a general link to the refer site, which is affiliated, and also a direct link to each of the refer brushes that I mentioned. But this is a great alternative to those more expensive blush brushes on the market. And I think refer offers a nice price point, especially through their concept store, when it comes to FUDE and natural hair brushes on the market. Brands like Hakuhodo and Chikuhodo have the same style brush, but they're just far more expensive. So if you wanted to try out a natural hairline, I say go for the refer brushes. All right, we are done with the face brushes. It is on to the eye brushes, and my first one up, you guys may know this one. This is my Sonia G Detail Pro brush, and this retails for $32. Again, it's a natural hair blend, and I love this brush so much. Now, it's a larger blending brush. It's actually intended for the face. It's just for detail application on the face. I find it far too small for anything that I'm gonna do on the face, except maybe like pinpoint highlighting. This though is perfect for giving you a wash of color in your crease line. It is great for laying down a transition color. It's nice and floppy. Well, it's not too floppy, but it's a longer bristle brush, so you can get a nice diffuse layer of color in the crease. If you do one and done, it's great for that. If you just need to set your base down or set your primer down, it's also perfect for that. And because I have a larger area to blend on my eyelids, it just fits perfectly in that crease line for me, and I can just blend and go. And when I tell you, this just blends like nobody's business. If you have any issue blending eyeshadow, go for natural hair brushes. One, because it helps with blending, and this one, oh child, and it's very soft, which you want against your eyes. You don't want a stiff brush that's gonna poke you. I mean, come on, some of these synthetics can get very harsh, okay? Morphe, I'm looking at you, just ooh, scratchy. But this, soft, blends really well. Like, aces for this brush. Absolutely love it. I have multiple. Sonia G Detail Pro, absolutely #1 eye brush. Another contender for one of my favorite eye brushes from Sonia G is the Soft Concealer. This retails for $32. Again, a natural hair blend. Now, it's meant for concealer, which you know, conceal and do all that stuff under the eyes. I don't use it for that. I use it again for blending, but it's a more compact shape and a little bit stiffer than the Detail Pro, so I can get a lot of color payoff from this brush. And I use it chiefly for my outer V and outer crease. I can get great color payoff and pigmentation from my eyeshadows right in this area, and I use circular buffing motions to apply the color. Again, great color payoff. If you have troublesome eyeshadows that may not apply the best, this might actually save the day for you. It applies color really well. So you can do tapping motions to get the pigmentation, then do circular motions to blend out the color. And it's small enough where I can get a precise application. But if you have smaller eyes, this might still be too big. But I absolutely love it for the crease line and for the outer V. It's just perfect for that. So this is a runner-up to that Detail Pro, and this is a recent release from the Fusion series, and I absolutely love it. Now, if natural hair brushes are not your thing and you're looking for a cheaper alternative that happens to be synthetic, you can go to Real Techniques. So this is the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, the number 300. It retails for $8.99 in a duo set, so you can get this along with one of their blending brushes for $8.99, or you can get it in a set with 4 more face brushes for $18.79. And I'll leave both sets down below. You can't buy this individually, which is the only drawback, but if you can get it in the duo for $8.99, that's not so bad. Plus you can use coupons. It's available at Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, Harmons, and of course Ulta, which I will link down below. But this is a great alternative to the Soft Concealer brush from Sonia G. It also does the same thing. It applies color really well, and it blends and blurs, and I love this brush. Oh my god, it's so great for applying color and blending it out, but I feel like the soft concealer brush just does a little bit better with tricky powder eyeshadows. But if you have just powder eyeshadows that work well on their own, this is still going to be fantastic for applying your color and blending it out. So again, synthetic alternative, which is a great one, and I've been using this for years and I absolutely love it. Now let's jump into the classic blending brushes. This is from Sonia Kashuk, which is available at Target. So this is the Sonia Kashuk Professional Rounded Crease Brush. It is the number 220 and it retails for $8. I know, a great price point, and you can find even cheaper alternatives in the Sonia Kashuk line, but I do recommend this professional brush itself because it is perfect for blending in the crease area. It is your classic blending brush shape. It is a great size for any eye shape or any eye size, and you can get a nice diffused blend in the crease using this brush. Of course, it is smaller than the Detail Pro, which again, I think is reserved for larger eye spaces, but this one is a great medium size. And again, very soft, it's synthetic, and it blends color out really easily. So if you're looking for a classic blender brush, a cheaper alternative, here is a great one that I think works really, really well, and I absolutely love it. So highly recommend, grab this at Target. Now this one is a little bittersweet because this brand did file for bankruptcy, but they were recently purchased by another brand, so hopefully they'll keep some of their products and some of their brushes. This is from BH Cosmetics. It's the V5 brush and it retails for $5. If you wanted an affordable blending brush, here is one for you. Again, it's a synthetic bristle type. It's not as soft as the Sonia Kashuk bristles, but it still works in a similar way to diffuse color in the crease, and it has a similar shape as well. It's a little bit smaller, so I use it for more precise blending, but it works really well. Again, these brushes have longer bristles, so they're gonna give you a more diffused blend to your eyeshadow. But oh my god, they work so well, and for $5 I picked up multiple. They also have a number 5 alternative. So the V5 is the vegan version of the 5. They're the same shape, so if you can get either one, they're both synthetic. I just don't know why this one is vegan versus the other one. I don't know if that's just a sales tactic, but it's the same brush, okay? $5 for both, and they work really well. Same kind of handle style, one is gray and one is black. Well, the V5 is longer, but I mean, same brush, same difference. So definitely recommend this as a great alternative if you're looking for a classic blending brush. All right, keeping with blending brushes, we have one from Eddie Funkhauser. Now I fell in love with the natural hair blending brush from Eddie Funkhauser, but that has been phased out. He had switched manufacturers for his natural hair brushes, and they ended up being so scratchy, and I was recommended them because the versions I have were ultra soft and they felt so great on the eyelids, but the new ones, so scratchy. So he did away with those and came out with these synthetic versions. So this is the Eddie Funkhauser Pro blending brush. It retails for $11, and you can tend to get these on sale. This is a large synthetic blending brush. Really soft, really works well in the crease area. I really like it. It's an alternative to the Detail Pro for me because it has a similar size and shape. It's just synthetic, and it blends and blurs product really, really well. So if you wanted like a Detail Pro alternative, here you go. She is a good one, and again, very soft. Thankfully it's synthetic, so it's meant to be soft, but those natural hair bristles, don't get them, child. They are bad, but this one really soft, so I love it. We also have a smaller alternative to that brush. This is the domed blending brush, also from Eddie Funkhauser, also retails for $11. But if you had smaller eyes or you wanted precision blending, this would be the one for you. Here is the difference in size, so you can see really tiny detail blending brush. You can use it for a detailed outer V to smoke out your lash line. You can also use it on the lower lash line to smoke out color. Again, it's synthetic, so if you were looking for a truly cruelty-free alternative, this might be right up your alley. Let's go back to Sonia Kashuk. This is from the Essential line. So this is the Essential Blending Crease Brush, and it retails for $6. I know, such a great price point, and you can find this at Target. It is, again, a smaller blending brush. It's slightly larger than the Eddie Funkhauser domed blending brush, and it has more of a rounded top than a pointed top. And this again is so great for blending in the outer V. If you have smaller eyes, I would recommend you get this brush. Synthetic, natural hair, this beats them all. It's such a great, precise blending brush. It works so well. It's really soft. It picks up product well. And it's just a great price point. $6? Come on now. It's something about the Sonias because I love Sonia G brushes as well as Sonia Kashuk. So you can't go wrong with either of these brands when it comes to brushes. So I love this little Essential Crease brush. And again, $6 at Target. All right, now let's go into the lay down shader brushes. This is from Real Techniques. It's the Expert Concealer Brush and it retails for $6.99. You can find it at Target, at Ulta, Harmon's, Bed Bath & Beyond again, and you can use coupons to get a further discount. Here's the thing about this brush. It says it's for concealer. You can use it for that, absolutely. But what it works great for is for laying shadow down on your lids. If you have a cream shadow or you have a shimmery metallic shadow that you really want to press onto the lid and get that shine from it, or if you use your eyeshadows damp like I typically do, you can just one and done. Like, it's such a great shape and it works really well for laying down any type of powder or cream eyeshadow formula. It just works well, and again, you can use it damp because it's synthetic, so it just works, okay? You can flip it around and use the edge to blend out color as well, but I tend to just swipe my color across the lid, or I'll pat it out with this brush. It is a larger brush, but it just works well for my eyelids, so I'm loving this brush, and it's a great price point again. Now, of course, you know I'm gonna get bougie with it and jump back into Sonia G. This is the Worker 2 eyeshadow brush. This retails for $36. Yes, a high price point. It's a natural hair brush made from goat hair and I really love it. The only drawback to this brush is the handle. It has this thicker handle, which I don't like. I prefer the newer style handles which are tapered, but this brush shape, oh my god, again, perfect for laying down eyeshadow. It works really well for matte or shimmer formulas. With synthetic brushes, I find that they work best with shimmer eyeshadows, but a natural hair brush picks up matte eyeshadows really well and lays it down so you can get full pigmentation. And this is really soft and it's easy to apply the color and blend it out. So if you have trouble with matte eyeshadows, and I use a lot of matte eyeshadows and I typically go for like an all matte look, so I will definitely pull in a natural hair brush, and this is my go-to. It lays color down really well. It's a larger shader brush, so I can cover a large area. Again, I have larger eyes, and I can blend around the edges with the tops of the bristles, so it just works really well for me. And I can also get in the corners of my eyes because it's so soft and it's really comfortable. You can use it on the lower lash line as well. It may be a little bit too large for that, so I use another brush, but I love this brush as an eyeshadow shader, and I definitely recommend testing this out in case you were interested in a natural hair shader brush. Now, if you wanted a similar brush with a different handle, this is also from Sonia G. This is the Jumbo Blender brush, and it retails for $38. So it's a little bit more pricey than the Worker 2, but they have similar brush shapes. This also has a different natural hair blend. So I think there is some squirrel mixed into this one along with goat hair, and it's very soft. It's softer than the Worker 2, which is just all goat. This just applies color really well. Again, works great with matte eyeshadows and shimmers. It blends and applies color well, just like the Worker 2, but it's a little bit softer. So if you have sensitive eyes, I would go with this blend instead. It's a little bit more pricey, but the handle is a little bit more comfortable for me to use because it's tapered, it fits well in the hands, and it just applies color really well and blends it out nicely. So definitely recommend the Sonia G line if you're looking for very nice eye shader brushes. Now on to some more precision type brushes. This is from Refer. It is the number 12 smudge brush, and it retails for full price $24, but again, from the concept store you can get it for a better price point. And this one is a beautiful bullet style brush. I don't love pencil style brushes, the ones that are really pointed, really tiny. I don't love those, but this one I fell in love with because it's a smaller detail smudger brush, but it has a rounded top and it's ultra soft, so it's really comfortable on the inner tear duct. If you do inner tear duct highlight and you wanted a precise brush for that application, this is the perfect brush for it. I mean, come on, and it's a really soft brush. It can get a little prickly if you just poke at your eye area, but if you just swipe your color on, it's so comfortable. You can use it on the lower lash line as well, also very comfortable, but it's just great for precision work. And you can also use it to smudge out your liner on your upper lash line or your lower lash line. You can also use it for precise blending on the outer V. It's just a really handy smudger brush. It works so well, and it's not too small. Even though they do have small pencil brush alternatives, you have the number 3 and the 23, which are small pencil brushes, right? But look at the difference in size. And this is a circular shape, so it gives you the ability to apply that inner tear duct color again and smudge out any liner or any shadow that you have in precise areas. So I absolutely love this brush. This is one that I highly recommend from Rephr. And then we have the Rephr number 21 shader brush, which also retails for $24. And this is such a great alternative to the MAC 242 brush, which I know and love. Now I know MAC redid their brushes to be all synthetic, but this was already synthetic, but it's more pricey than the Rephr brush, and it's the same shape, and I feel like the Rephr brush is actually softer. So this is a synthetic hair brush, and it's really soft. So I use this for my lower lash line to apply color right against my lower lashes and blend it out. It's such a great brush for that application, but it also works well as a shader brush. You can use it to apply color on the lid. Again, works great with metallic eyeshadows because it just picks up the product really well and applies it in an effortless way. And you can also use it for precision work, which is what I used to use my MAC 242 for, is to do my cut creases. These brushes work so well for that. So you can create a really precise line in your crease line, and you can also use it to blend and blur out the edges. It's just a really great brush to have, and I'm glad that Rephr went ahead and did this style of brush because it's one that's kind of missing on the market from other brands, and the MAC one is really pricey. So if you wanted one of these smaller shader brushes, go ahead and grab it from Rephr. All right, now we're not gonna get through this entire list of brushes without mentioning MAC. Like, how dare you? Now I did mention that the Rephr alternative to the 242 is a better option for me, but nothing beats the MAC 252 shader brush. This retails for $34. Yes, it's pricey, but I have never found another brush that quite matches up to the size and shape of this brush from MAC. I use this for my brow highlight. Now you might be saying, why are you spending $34 on a brush that you're using for your brow highlight? I've had this brush for over 10 years now. Great shape, no problems, it hasn't fallen apart. I mean, come on, that's $34 well spent. I've definitely gotten my money's worth out of this brush. And again, I use it for my brow highlight. I just pick up color and apply it to my brow. And it also works for like blending and blurring out any eyeshadow that got a little bit too far on my brow bone. I can use it as like an eraser brush if I turn it on the side and just go back and forth. But it's so great. The shape is so precise. It gets right up against my brow, but I can still use it for the same purposes as the MAC 242 or the Rephr number 21, which is to lay down eyeshadow or to smudge out the lower lash line. It's just a larger shape, and that's why I like it for my brow bone, because boom, one and done. I don't have to think about it. This just sweeps color on really easily, and it's perfect for me. So definitely had to get a MAC brush in on the action. Last up, we have a brush from the Makeup Shack. I know, like, where, what, how? So this is the Makeup Shack number 172 brush, and it retails for $5.99. You may be thinking, who is the Makeup Shack? What is going on? What is this brush for? This is the brush that I use to apply concealer under my brows. It is a random brush. I discovered it on Instagram. Someone just mentioned using it for cut creases, and I was like, say less, that is what I'm going to pick it up for, and it works great for that purpose. It is really sharp. It has a precise shape to it. If you get a little bit of like a cream or liquid primer or eyeshadow base on this or concealer, you can get a really precise line. Like, it will give you precision for that cut crease. But I really use it under my brows for my concealer. So it creates that sharp line under my brow. I can clean up the shape of my arch and blend out my concealer product. So I love this little brush. It's like a one-off. I never bought any other brushes from Makeup Shack, but it works really well. I also have one from like Anastasia Beverly Hills that I'll use, but it's pricey. This is the number 18 brush. It's also a concealer brush, but I just feel like the Makeup Shack one is just a lot more precise and it has a larger shape. That just works perfectly for me. So this is the final brush on the list, but I do want to give just a quick honorable mention to my Chikuhodo number F05 brush. This is from the Fox Hair series. Oh my god, it's so soft. Now this is a natural hair brush, as you would expect. It is made from Fox Hair and it's not as pricey as you would expect. It's $27. This is a great brush for applying eyeshadow on the lids. Oh my god, it's a great shader brush and it's a nice large size, so I can just sweep shadow all over the lids. Now I haven't been using this brush as much as the other brushes, which is why it's just an honorable mention. It is not necessarily one of my staple brushes. The Fox Hair brushes that I have in my collection are so super soft. They remind me of squirrel hair brushes with the resilience of goat hair bristles. They're so good. Oh my god. So squirrel is going to be the softest brushes I have, but they're a little bit more delicate, a little bit more fine, but Fox will give you that softness and will still hold up in resilience. So really love this brush, but just an honorable mention because it's one that I haven't been using as much. So there you have it, guys. Those are my top 25 or so most used brushes. I think I ended up showcasing about 27, 28 brushes, but these are my most used brushes in my collection. And I have tons and tons of brushes, okay? So that is saying a lot. Like, I can literally keep picking up different containers of brushes because I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cups of brushes on my desk alone. And then I have another 10 or so on my other table over here. So I have tons of brushes. I love brushes. Brushes are just one of those tools that I can't get enough of, and I love trying out different shapes and styles, and then also different brands, because there are brands that pop up here or there that intrigue me. But I definitely have my core brushes that I use all the time. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful, maybe found it interesting and entertaining. It was definitely a fun video for me to create because I got to talk about some of my favorite tools, some of my favorite brushes, and they happen to be my most used brushes. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. I will link as many of the brushes down below as I can. If there's an asterisk next to any of those links, that indicates that it is an affiliate link, which means I will get a small sales commission if you make a purchase through those links. It's an easy way to show your support for the channel because it gives me a small kickback that I can then put right back into the content. So if you do use my links when you shop, thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. But if you're not comfortable with that, just shop the way you normally shop, no muss, no fuss. I'm still happy you're here watching. I will also leave links to my Instagram and Twitter where you should be following me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.